when you're saving for a rainy day, the next day it start raining, but better than having nothing. Like, a win is a win. First one is organizing and following my checklist. So I have a checklist for everything. I have a checklist for filming, I have a checklist to clean, I have a checklist for travel. Like, it just helps me, you know, make decisions faster because I don't have to think of what I'm supposed to do because there's a list of things I just follow, right? Because sometimes when I'm overwhelmed and I feel like there's just so many decisions to be made, I just get confused and I might not even do anything, right? But having a checklist just keeps me organized and I can just open it, know what I've done, know what I haven't done, and, you know, get done with my tasks basically. Sometimes, like, making a checklist can take a while, but like, it's something that you can update as you go, right? So I recently just created a checklist for my YouTube scripts. Like, I just used to have a checklist for filming. I didn't have a checklist for scripts, but like, that just makes it faster for me and I can script maybe like 2 videos in maybe an hour. Having a checklist and following through is something that I'm really going to be putting a lot of attention to this year. Okay, so the second one is saving and budgeting. I mean, this is like a no-brainer because your savings will always save you. I know that sometimes when you're saving for a rainy day, the next day it start raining, but better than having nothing. Like, a win is a win. So I'm really going to be prioritizing my savings this year. I have a savings goal, but I'm not going to share with you guys yet. But I just really want to be very intentional about saving because sometimes it's not even really about how much you make, it's how much you can keep, how much you can invest. So something I'm really prioritizing this year is saving. Another thing is budgeting, because if you don't even budget your money properly, it might be hard to, you know, have savings at the end of the day. So something I really want to do this year is focus on having a budget that I'll follow and basically tracking my finances, tracking my spending, you know, what takes the bulk of my money, what's the thing that I always buy on impulse most of the time, obviously skincare or makeup. Anywho, basically this year, I just really want to prioritize my savings and budgeting and basically my overall financial well-being, okay? So the third habit on my list is designing my environment for the goals that I'm working on. Basically, I know that if I want to drink more water, I have to put, you know, a water bottle on my table. If I want to eat healthy, I have to, you know, meal prep and just basically plan how I'm eating. Basically, I want my environment to spur me up to actually get into doing what I say that I would do. Whenever I create content, I like to pack up my life because I feel like it just makes the room look too full. But I realize that every time I do that, it makes it harder to film the next time. Like, it's always like a big struggle because that setting up is just like a very big hindrance. But like, now that I just leave it there, it's easier to just get up, do my makeup, dress up, and it's time to create content. So I'm making a conscious effort to design my environment in a way that helps me achieve my goals, help me work on my goals, help me stay conscious of my goals, okay? Next one is prioritizing self-care. This is on my list because I know that I'm a planner, and when I don't plan anything, I most likely will not do it, right? I don't want to be the person who doesn't have, you know, work-life balance. I don't want to work to live. I want to live to work. I want to actually enjoy my life. Like, my life is more than my work, and I know that if I don't create time for self-care or spending time with my family, spending time with loved ones, like, it's something that I will always do when I feel like I have time, and that's something that doesn't happen because I always feel like I don't have time, right? I really want to make an effort to watch movies often. I want to go to a spa. I just want to spend time doing things that is not always, you know, geared towards my work, okay? So this is a very big priority, and it's a habit that I'm really going to, you know, work on this year. So the next habit is improving my focus, and I'm going to be doing this by making sure that I prioritize or make do of silent hours. So like early in the morning when I wake up, when I feel, you know, refreshed, you know, I'm going to work on my most important tasks, or late at night because sometimes I can be a night owl. Basically, I want to really improve my focus because sometimes the only thing stopping you from achieving a goal is that you're not giving it enough time and you're letting distractions get in the way. Another thing I'm going to do is try to minimize, you know, always being on my phone, especially for little things like maybe brushing my teeth, rushing downstairs to get something. I noticed that these little things makes it harder to stay focused. I literally even turned off notification on my Instagram. I don't want to have to go on the app every single time someone likes my post or drops a comment or follows me or whatever, right? The goal is to actually, you know, work on my focus. I want to be able to do deep work for hours, and that will not happen if I cannot stay focused during a particular, you know, period of time, okay? Another habit for 2023 is prioritizing preventive care. Like, I don't want to be that person who is always looking for results to fix things. Like, how can I avoid the problem, you know, from the very beginning? One of my biggest skin concern is hyperpigmentation. And I know that if I can just focus on using my sunscreen and reapplying it, using ingredient that works on hyperpigmentation, I won't have to, you know, start from scratch every single time. So instead of us always working towards, you know, fixing things, like how can you like avoid the problem, you know, completely? Another thing for me is when I get really really busy, the first thing that starts to suffer is like my feeding habit. Like I don't eat really well, and at the end of the day, it starts to affect me. So one thing I'm going to be doing is just making sure that I prevent this thing. Like I don't always have to be on the end of fixing every single time, okay? Another important habit I'm going to be working on this year is having a deadline calendar. This is different from like my calendar that has maybe like other things that I'm doing, but like this one is specifically for deadlines. Last year, I had a particular event with Meta. Like Meta invited some influencers, and I didn't go because I missed the date. Like I thought it was on Saturday and it was on Friday, and that's something that I should have put in a deadline calendar if I had it at the time, and I probably wouldn't have missed it because that calendar is not filled with every other thing that I have to do for the month. It's something that is just a list of like a few things that I would easily just open, you know, and see, right? So something I'm going to be doing this year is to make sure that I have a deadline calendar, because I also work with brands and I have deadlines for their videos. I also have deadlines for like my YouTube upload, because like this is the year we put more energy to the tube. You know, all these kind of things should actually be in my deadline calendar, because it just helps me know that, okay, I have things due, so that I don't have maybe 5 things due at the same time because I'm not paying attention to, you know, the things I have on my list, okay? So one habit I'm not going to be sleeping on this year is having a deadline calendar, okay? So another goal for 2023, this one is super important to me, is praying. Not like I'm not praying before, I wasn't praying last year, but the goal is to pray more than I did last year. I'm a believer, and staying connected to my source is a huge pointer of success and actually working in purpose, because I have to be aligned, I have to be in God's will to work in purpose. So prayer is a very good way to know God's heart and just know what God will have me do per time. So that's something that I'm not joking with this year. And one thing that helps me whenever I feel, you know, weak or I'm not in the mood to pray is I start saying, I like who I become when I pray. My prayer changes things. My prayer changes things. And just by repeating those things over and over again, I just get the strength and I start praying in tongues. And before you know, I'm having an amazing time with God, right? It's so easy to get distracted in this world. It's easy to start pursuing things that, you know, you don't even need, or things that don't align with God's will for your life. But if you're always praying, trust me, you will always be at the center of God's will. So the final one, and this is also really, really important, is building a morning routine and a night routine. I think a nighttime routine is super important and it's sometimes like overlooked. But the truth is, if you're not sleeping on time, how are you going to wake up on time? Like there's no magic. Like the battle to wake up early should not even start with you fighting, you know, not to snooze your alarm. It starts the night before. So something I'm going to be prioritizing this year for my productivity, to stay motivated, is actually working on my nighttime routine, making sure that I sleep on time, making sure that I'm well rested. Like as much as the hustle culture is, you know, really popular, like sleeping well is as important as the hustle, okay? So one thing I'm doing this year is to make sure that my sleep, you know, pattern is in order. And just because I'm the gift that keeps giving, I already made a video on how you can build your nighttime routine, because I know that it's super important, and I'll link the video. You should just watch that right after this video, okay? Because we want to get into action. It's not what you heard, it's how you can apply it into your life. So get on that video, take notes, and build your routine. And I hope that 2023 is the best year ever for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you have not. That's a good habit. A good habit is to support the independent Bella, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye. We always do our happy dance.